Happy May, friends, and welcome to La Rosa Reads. I'm Denise La Rosa, and today I will be sharing with all of you my May TBR. Let's talk books. I cannot believe that this is my 5th TBR of the year. This one is particularly special because there's a lot going on for me as far as reading goes in the month of May, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So here we go. The first book that I plan on reading in May is by the one, the only, one of my all-time favorite artists, Billy Porter. This is his memoir, Unprotected. So I have some exciting news for you guys. I will not be reading this book alone. Yes, I will be reading it with a buddy by the name of, I don't know, maybe you've heard of her, Olive, over at A Book Olive. Yes, she and I both are Pittsburghers, and this month we are having our first ever Greater Pittsburgh Festival of Books. Billy Porter is the keynote, the big attraction of the event, and I am super excited to meet him finally, to be in his presence, hear him just reflecting upon this memoir and sharing some wonderful words of wisdom with all of the audience. And I'm also super excited to be joined by none other than Olive over at A Book Olive. So I have had the wonderful opportunity to meet Olive in person, and while we were together, go figure, of course, she inspired me to pick up a couple of books, one of which was Unprotected by Billy Porter. Since he's going to be featuring this book and talking about this book and doing a book signing at the Greater Pittsburgh Festival of Books, she and I thought it would be a good opportunity to read this book and kind of talk about it and have this experience together, and I simply cannot wait. So the next few books I'm going to be sharing with you that are on my TBR for this month are books that I picked up in March. March was a busy shopping month for me as far as books are concerned. I did some book shopping in New York City. I did some book shopping here in the Pittsburgh area, and I have accumulated quite a few new books. And what better time than this wonderful month of May to get started reading those books. Finlay Donovan is Killing It was one of my purchases that I made at Completely Booked, and if you didn't see it already, I encourage you to check out my vlog about my favorite indie bookstore in the area. It is simply a delightful place to shop for books, and I would love for you to check out that video. So this book is comedic, it's fun, it's light, and it's just full of irony, and I cannot wait to read this book. I've been seeing the pictures of the cover floating up in my feed over on Bookstagram. BookTube has been talking about this book. It's all the rage everywhere. It seems like everywhere I turn, Finlay Donovan is killing it, and also the sequel are just right in front of my face. So I felt like, why not join this party and see what's going on with this book? So we shall see. So Finlay Donovan is a single mom of 2, and she's a struggling author. Needless to say, her life is a bit stressful. So her life takes a very unexpected turn whenever she is mistaken for a contracted killer. And needless to say, Finlay Donovan is on this journey that was unexpected, but very entertaining nonetheless. So we'll stop right there and just wait and see what the rest of the book tells us, how it entertains us. I am so excited. I purchased this book at Strand. I mentioned it in my Strand book haul video. And finally, I think this is the month that I will be able to read it. And it is When Stars Are Scattered. I just fell in love with the cover, the synopsis, and I am excited that Krista over at Books and Jams has already read this book, and she told me it is simply amazing. So I really trust Krista and her taste in books. So if she says it's amazing, and it also is a National Book Award finalist, I have a feeling this is going to be very gripping, very moving, and it's going to be a book that eventually I will share with my daughters. Like I said in the New York City book haul video, I want to relish in this book all on my own. I love my daughters, but this is one of those books that I want to savor and experience solo, and then ultimately share that experience with my daughters. So this is the time. So whenever Olive and I met up, not only did I purchase Billy Porter's memoir, But Olive recommended this book to me, and I am so excited. And it is The Lion in the Living Room. Look at this cute little kitten. Oh my goodness. Like, I am a cat lover, and I have been missing being a cat owner. My last cat, the fabulous, the one and only Ailey, named after famed choreographer Alvin Ailey, passed away on September 4th, 2015. So my husband's allergic to cats, and both of my daughters are allergic to cats as well, which is terribly sad and disappointing because it leads me to believe that I will never be a cat owner again. Prior to having Ailey, I was blessed with Cougar back in middle school and Cuddles, and then my college roommate and I took in a stray cat and named her Bella, and little did we know at the time she was pregnant with kittens, and Ailey was one of those kittens. I have always been intrigued by cats, and I just find them to be so mysterious and loving, and quite the opposite of dogs. They're wonderful pets to have, in my humble opinion. And sometimes they catch a lot of flack, like people feel like they're finicky and they're, not as loving and warm as dogs are. But I find that not to be true at all. My mom has 2 cats now, and so does my brother. So I live vicariously through them. And whenever I visit them, I have fun with their cats. But I was talking to Olive. She is a wonderful nonfiction reader, and I was asking her for recommendations of some nonfiction books about animals because I find that I'm needing to stretch myself in that area. I don't really read books about animals. And so we were talking about cats and how much we love cats. She has a cat named Thea, and she said this book is really, really, really good. So I'm looking forward to reading about The Lion in the Living Room and falling in love with cats all over again. All right, we're down to 3 more books. These final 3 books that I plan to read in May are part of my obligation as a judge for the BookTube prize. I have 6 books to read for the quarterfinals. I read 3 books in April, and I plan on reading the final 3 in May, and I have to vote on all 6 of those books by May 30th. Not on May 30th. My goal is to do it before the deadline. We shall see what happens in that realm. However, Somebody's Daughter is one of the books that I am required to read for the quarterfinals of the BookTube prize. So I'm a little embarrassed to say that Ashley Ford is not someone that I really follow. I've heard a lot about her. I have friends who follow her journey and her story and all of the work that she does. And I was really interested in this book when it came out. It's an Oprah imprint, and Oprah was talking about it a lot. I follow Oprah's book club on Instagram, and I just never quite got to it. I found that I wasn't in the mood to read a memoir that was so heavy at the time, and whether I'm ready or not, the BookTube prize says I have to read this book. So I'm looking forward to reading this book by Ashley Ford. So through poverty, adolescence, and a fraught relationship with her mother, Ashley Ford wishes she could turn to her father for hope and encouragement. There are just a few problems. He's in prison, and she doesn't know what he did to end up there. She doesn't know how to deal with the incessant worries that keep her up at night or how to handle the changes in her body that draw unwanted attention from men. In her search for unconditional love, Ashley begins dating a boy her mother hates. When the relationship turns sour, he assaults her. Still reeling from the rape, which she keeps secret from her family, Ashley desperately searches for meaning in the chaos. Then her grandmother reveals the truth about her father's incarceration, and Ashley's entire world is turned upside down. Woo! That's a lot, and I have a feeling that it's going to be so gripping, so moving. So here we go. So another book that I have to read for the BookTube prize is Orwell's Roses. And let me just say something right here, right now. Unashamedly, I am not a reader of Orwell's. I am one of those book lovers and book readers that have missed quite a few classics in my time, and I hope to get to some of those classics in the near future. but I'm kind of going into this journey of reading this book for the BookTube Prize not having experienced an Orwell piece of literature. Nonetheless, I am looking forward to reading this book. This book is a reflection on George Orwell's passion and love for gardening, and particularly flowers, and how that inspired him throughout his life and the many aspects of his life, how it was shaped by this passion. Sparked by her unexpected encounter with the surviving roses he planted in 1936, the author's account of this understudied aspect of Orwell's life explores his writing and his actions, from going deep into the coal mines of England, fighting in the Spanish Civil War, critiquing Stalin when much of the international left still supported him, to his analysis of the relationship between lies and authoritarianism. Whoa, this is really fascinating, it sounds. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I can't really talk about it until after the judging takes place, but trust me, I will let you know how this goes as soon as I'm allowed to share those details. Can y'all hear all that noise going on here in my neighborhood? I feel like this is a day where I'm trying to record, and the last time that we recorded some videos, it was super windy. Today we've got trucks blazing through here. We've got dogs a-barking, and I don't know what else is gonna happen, but hopefully you can hear me talking about all these books I plan to read in May. It happens. Life happens. So finally, the book that I'm going to share with you that I'm planning on reading in May is the final one that I need to read for the BookTube Prize, and it is Under the White Sky, The Nature of the Future. So in this book, the author takes a hard look at the new world we are creating, and along the way she meets a biologist several biologists who are trying to preserve the world's rarest fish, which lives in a single tiny pool in the middle of somewhere. Engineers who are turning carbon emissions to stone in Iceland, Australian researchers who are trying to develop super coral that can survive on a hotter globe, the physicists who are contemplating shooting tiny diamonds into the stratosphere to cool the Earth. Wow. Okay. So ultimately, the author is examining how the very sorts of interventions that have imperiled our planet are increasingly seen as the only hope for its salvation. So that will be the 6th book that I need to read for the quarterfinals in order to judge for the BookTube Prize. I plan on posting a vlog about my journey reading these books and my thoughts about these books. Of course, after the judging takes place and after the winners of the quarterfinals are announced. So stay tuned for that in June. But I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to read some nonfiction books that I might have otherwise not really thought about selecting and reading. So thank you, BookTube Prize, for this opportunity. So what are your reading plans in May? I would love to know, so be sure to post in the comments below. Also, happy Indie Bookstore Day. I would love to celebrate with you by having you watch the video over here that features my favorite indie bookstore in the area. I hope you enjoy that video, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.